Hello class, welcome to CLS 100. In this short video, I'm going to demonstrate how you can navigate the Blackboard shell that most of your CLS 100 course materials will be located in. And so to do that, first of all, we'll start at the basic Blackboard login page. So if you navigate to bb.grcc.edu in a web browser, you'll see this screen appear. I'm actually going to log in as a student so that you can see exactly, so that what you see in this video will be exactly like what you see when you log in. So I click login and it takes me to the basic Blackboard landing page. So to get to your CLS 100 course, you'll go to CLS 100, 3730 Winter 15, click on that, and this is what you should see. Whenever you log in to your CLS 100 class, the first thing that will come up are announcements. Now as you can see, the way the class is set up, you won't see everything for the entire 10 weeks all at once. Instead, you'll see things for that week and things that had come before that. And since we're at the beginning of the semester, there's only one announcement posted. Now as the weeks go on, you'll see additional announcements posted. So here's the main announcement. You can see that this explains sort of how to get started. If you look down the left-hand side, this is your primary course navigation. All the things that you'll need for the course are located in these different navigation areas. And I'll walk through each of these and explain how they work and what's in them. Think of these navigation areas sort of like folders. So as you click on each one, different things will open. And what we'll do is we'll start with the Start Here tab. Now chances are if you've made it to this orientation, you probably have made it this far already. If you look at the Start Here tab, like most of the things in our course, most of the pages will usually start with some sort of an explanation at the top. So in this case, we have a Welcome to CLS 100 announcement. Gives a little bit of information about how the class is set up, explains that our weeks begin on Saturday. So typically materials will be made available on Thursdays, but then the week sort of begins on Saturday, and typically your materials for the week will be due the following Friday at 5 p.m., 4:59 p.m., whatever. Our class periods, our in-seat face-to-face class periods will always be Thursdays, and so you'll have the time leading up to Thursday to work on things, and then that additional sort of 24-hour period to finish things up before things are due on Friday. Typically, you'll see that things are sequenced in this course, so to help you sort of navigate things, I've typically put things with letters so you can see the order that you should do things. In this case, the Start Here tab shows a variety of orientation activities. So there's a link here. So if you see the little Earth icon, that's a web link. So this is a link to the online learning page on the GRCC website. So if we clicked on that, it would actually take us to that website. You can see that in my browser here, it's opened in a new tab. I have a variety of resources I can look at. If I close that, go back into this tab, I'm back into our course now. There's some netiquette guidelines, the course navigation video, which you've already found. Here, you see this little symbol, and this is called a course link. So this takes us to another place in the course. In this case, this takes you to the course syllabus. You need to review the course syllabus because there's a quiz on the orientation, which will be a quiz over the information in this video as well as the syllabus. So in this case, if we click on this course link, we can see that it takes us into the course information section where we can click on this. So you see this underlined here. This is a document, and in this case, the document is the CLS syllabus. So in my browser, you notice that it comes up in the download bar here. When I click on it, it opens it in Microsoft Word. So if I go back into Chrome, which is the browser I was using, and get back into my Start Here tab, you can see the remainder of the materials here, including a folder. So in this case, there's a folder. Anytime you see this yellow folder icon, that's a folder. Information on my Student Success Lab, which is a service that's provided by Pearson, your textbook publisher, that has tutorials and things that will help you. Several of those will be required throughout the semester. This symbol is a blog. So in this case, if you click on this, it takes you into a blog area where you can create an entry to introduce yourself to your classmates. And this is a quiz. So this particular icon is for a mobile quiz, which means that you could actually complete this orientation quiz on your phone or on a tablet or other mobile device. So that's sort of the Start Here section. It's all of the kind of orientation material. The next thing in our menu is course information, which we already looked at a little bit. And in that area, you'll find the course syllabus, and you'll also find a link to my instructor information, which simply gives you my office location, room 300 of the main building, my office hours, 5 to 6 on Thursdays or by appointment, and my email address. The third area is the announcements area. So if we click on announcements, this is where your sort of weekly introductions will occur, and anytime that there's anything I need you to know that's just applicable to a particular week, I'll place those there, and oftentimes you'll receive those announcements as an email as well. So in this case, it's just a welcome to CLS 100. There may be a point in time where I might post an announcement about something like registering for courses for the next semester. I may post an announcement about class being canceled if I'm sick or something like that. So the announcements area is the first place that you will land whenever you log into our course. Now, these areas are the areas that contain your assignments. And the main area that you'll be using throughout the semester is this one, weekly activities. So if I click on this, right now I only have 1 week, because even though this class is hybrid and a lot of the activities are online, it is still a course that's navigated 1 week at a time. It's not some correspondence course where all the folders are open at once and you just work at your own pace. So you'll see additional weeks of content open up every Thursday morning. So for now, we have 1 week, week 1 change. So we see the yellow folder, which means it's a folder icon. So if you click on this, it will open all of your activities for the week. And you see that in week 1, the first thing we have is a reminder that if you didn't complete the orientation, you should go back and do that. And this link will actually take you back to the orientation in the Start Here tab. Now, this is a typical week of CLS 100 content. Every week will begin with a learning summary. So the learning summary will tell you what we're studying, when things are due, the course learning outcomes that are covered that week, the weekly objectives, and then a sequenced list of activities. Most of the time you'll have A through G or so. And there are a variety of different things in this list. And typically that list is pretty similar every week though. So once you sort of learn to navigate 1 week, the rest of the weeks are pretty much the same. So in this case, we start with just an item reminding you that you should first of all read the first chapter of your textbook. Now, one thing that's helpful in sort of tracking your progress through the week as you work through activities is this Mark Reviewed button. So if I read chapter 1 in the textbook, I can come back in, click Mark Reviewed, and you can see that it loads. Now it's going to show that I reviewed that. So it's a good reminder for you to use as sort of a checklist to keep track of what you have and haven't done for the week. So now that I've read chapter 1, the second thing to do is to watch the mini lecture. So every week in CLS 100, I'll post a mini lecture that's a 15 to 20 minute Camtasia video that goes through a PowerPoint explaining basic information for the week. A lot of that content will be in your textbook, but some of it isn't. So it's really important that you watch those mini lectures or at least go over the PowerPoint slides that will be right here as well so that you get the information for the weekly quiz. And with these, if we click on this, hello class and welcome to week 1 of CLS 100. You can open it right in the browser there. If we click on this icon, it will open it full screen. Then I can hit escape to get out of that. So you'll have that every week. Now, one other thing to remember, and this is extremely important, if you have just logged in for the first time and you don't see the video appear, you can either click on this link to view it in YouTube or check your browser settings. In Chrome, you may see a little shield appear up here that you have to click on to say load unsafe script. And I know that sounds bad, but that's the thing that you need to do to get these videos to load correctly. It's just something about the way things are set up on campus. So check your settings if the videos aren't appearing. But if you keep having problems, you can always click on this link to go directly to the video. So each week you have reading, you have a mini lecture, and every week you'll be doing one practice activity. So with these activities, they're designed to help you practice your learning before you're tested on it. So with practice activities, there typically are multiple options. Some weeks there may only be one. We can see that this is a folder, so I'm going to click on that. And in this case, I have two options. You only have to do one of those two options. This is a link to a My Student Success Lab module, and this is what we call an SQ3R assignment. So in this case, the ruler and the pencil indicate an assignment. If I click on that, this is how an assignment's set up. So it tells me it's worth 10 points. It gives me the document that I can open to fill out. So this is the assignment document. I can click on that. I can fill it out. I can then attach that file and submit it. And so that's how you submit all of your assignments. Since this is a practice assignment, I want to point out to you that your practice assignments are always worth 10 points, and you will automatically get those 10 points if you put forth an honest effort. They are not graded for accuracy. They're there to help you practice before being graded for accuracy. So we have a practice activity. The next thing on our list is contributing to the discussions. So every week you're expected to post to the discussion boards. Even though we have a face-to-face meeting each week, this class is mostly online. So I want you participating in these discussions. And every week you'll have a course link into the discussion threads for the week. So in this case, I've started 4 different threads for you. You can click on any one to sort of see what the prompt is. So in this case, you can see my prompt. What additional cornerstones do you think should be added? All you need to do if you want to respond to that is you can hit reply. If you want my text to come up in it, you can hit quote, and it will bring up a new box that will allow you to type a comment on that. If you go directly into the discussions, so we'll actually kind of go back here, you can see that there is also a virtual office forum that I've set up. So if you ever have questions that you want the entire class to see, you can post those questions in this virtual office thread. And all you would do would be click Create Thread, type in what you want to ask, and then post it to the forum. So that's, as you go back into the discussions, this list will get longer as the semester goes on. Each week there'll be additional discussions that are added, and you'll be responding to those discussions again, mostly prior to class on Thursday, but they all have to be done by Friday at 5. So if we go back into our weekly activities folder now, and back into week 1, so if we go through the list, we've seen what a mini lecture looks like. We've seen a little item that tells us about textbook readings. We've seen the folder with the practice activities. We've seen how we link out to the discussion forum, and you can see some instructions here that I would encourage you to read that talk about how you'll be graded on those. And then the next thing that you'll see is every week there'll be a larger 20-point weekly assignment. And in this case, in week 1, it's a pre-semester success plan. Just like the other assignment that I showed you, if you click on this, it takes you into the assignment page. You can see it's worth 20 points. You can see instructions here. You can see a document that you need to download to fill out. Once you do that, you'll be able to attach it here, just like you would attach an email, hit submit, and then it will submit your assignment. We're going to cancel because I'm not submitting anything right now. So we've gone through the list, and with each one of these things, as I do these, I'm probably going to want to click Mark Reviewed. The sort of exception here would be these discussions, because you need to be regularly engaged in these throughout the week. Finally, you can see the last two things on our list are another reading. We are reading a book together throughout the semester called Just Don't Fall. You need to complete about 5 chapters of that book each week. You will notice that every 2 weeks you'll have a journal entry to do on that book, and you'll see that for the first time in week 2. And then the last thing for any week is a quiz. So in this case, you notice our quiz icon is a little bit different. This is your standard quiz icon. So this shows that this quiz is not one that could be done easily on your phone or tablet. If we click on it, it takes us into a screen that shows us the quiz instructions. It tells us it's 30 minutes long. It also tells you, and this is really important, that once you click begin and start this quiz, if you try to stop and go back, it's automatically going to save your answers. So don't do that. Make sure you work through the entire thing. It has to be completed in one sitting. The quizzes are always going to be over material from the book and materials from the mini lectures. And I'm not going to begin this because I'm not going to show you what the questions are right now. We're not going to complete the quiz, so we'll cancel. But that's a typical week of content. And so this basic structure is what you'll see every week for all 10 weeks. There'll be a learning summary that will tell you what you need to do that week. It will all be sequenced. You'll see readings, you'll see mini lectures, you'll see practice activities, discussions, a weekly graded activity. For at least the first 8 weeks or so, you'll see Just Don't Fall readings, and then a weekly quiz. The last thing that you'll notice is this folder that says In-Class Resources. So if we click on that, this folder will always include any things that we might use in class that week. Now typically, and I'll let you know if this is ever not the case, I will bring these things to class. But if you want to print things out in advance, you can. So during week 1, in our first class period, we'll actually be going over a goal setting worksheet. We'll be talking about some of our personal goals in class. And so I've actually provided that worksheet in Blackboard for you if that's something that you want to look at in advance. So that's what a typical weekly folder will look like. And so that brings us through, start here, course info, announcements, and weekly activities. We've looked at the discussion page. A couple other tabs here of interest to you. We have a couple major assignments in the class that I've created special links for. So My Degree Path is something we'll be looking at this semester. This navigation area gives you information on the My Degree Path website and on your My Degree Path assignment, which it says is due on March 20th, and I need to correct that. It's actually due in February, and that's on this assignment sheet. So you can see if I open the assignment sheet, this explains the My Degree Path assignment. It's due on February 13th. This area gives you information on My Student Success Lab. So My Student Success Lab is a publisher content module that we'll be using in the class. The main area you'll be looking at is what's called the learning path. So there are different learning modules in here. If I click on this, you can see what it looks like. It's going to tell me I need an access code. We'll go over this in class. Once we get in class, I'll show you how this all works. So we'll go over it in class and I'll show you what that is. But that's what opens there. And there's other information here to give you support around how to use it. This is where all your grades will appear for the entire semester. So right now, I don't have any grades. You can see some of the things that are coming up and how much they're worth. And that will be the case for the entire semester. So there's lots of things in the class. This is all these different assignments that you have. And then finally, there's a resources section that gives you some GRCC Tech resources, some supplemental videos, and a little bit of info on my Student Success Lab. So that's the basic navigation of the Blackboard course for CLS 100. If you ever have any questions, you can always send me an email, and we'll also go over some of this information in class.